And we're rolling.
And hello again, Kitchen at the Compound fans. We know it's been a little while since we posted a video, but I know you're all anxiously awaiting to see what the heck are they going to do next. Well, this, as it says on the label, is a pork belly. In case you don't know, that's where we get things that look like that right there, also known as bacon. So we are going to attempt to make our own bacon from a raw, or what they call a green, pork belly. Now, it's only green because it hasn't been smoked or cured or anything. And it's kind of all the rage to cook pork belly just straight and not making bacon out of it. So I think this one's actually big enough we're going to cut off a piece to maybe do something else with part of the pork belly. But we've got a couple of different recipes, and we are not going to use nitrites. And a lot of people have some health concerns about nitrites.
Me.
And you see a whole lot of stuff in the stores, deli meats and bacon and sausages that are not cured and have no nitrites. And a lot of that's just pure concern about nitrite, sodium nitrite, and whether it's healthy or not. That's not really the issue for Michelle, as it's a migraine issue for her, as a trigger for migraines, which it is for many people with nitrites, is the problem. So we're going to try two different methods that are no nitrite, which involve curing this kind of, if you will, the old-fashioned way. So let me get some scissors. And we are going to smoke this, so there will be some smoking in this video when we get to that point. But it's will take us a few days to get to that point. The curing process takes about 5 to 7 days, just depending on how long you want to cure it. And it does involve quite a bit of salt. So,
And we're rolling.
okay, we jumped a little bit ahead because we had a lighting issue we had to take care of. I think our other videos we've done in the daytime, so this probably makes a difference. Anyway, I'm unpacking the pork belly, as you can see. And this has been in cryovac pack since it left the processor.
Yeah, but we didn't get it straight from the processor. We went to our local favorite Mega Mart, Costco.
That's right. And so I'm going to wash my hands again real quick. We're going to cut this into 3 pieces.
And don't mind the open cabinets over there that you see right in front of you. We're redoing that cabinet.
You really think anybody is worried about that?
I would be if I was watching this video.
So which end do you want me to cut off to save a little for not bacon purposes?
I don't care.
Well, let's just trim it up a little bit to make it nice and square. So we may cut a little off of both ends. So we're gonna cut this end off. Should have got my serrated knife. This seems to be
Or scissors.
not
For getting
cutting
the very end
quite as
pieces of it there, maybe. I don't know.
readily as I wanted. And then
Well, our knives do need to be sharpened. We've already established that.
let's square this end up just a little bit. This will also make a good, some short pieces for what they call pork belly slices. That will work
But
nicely
it's
for that.
it's usually in restaurants when you see it. It's usually like in kind of cut up in rectangles or cubes, kind of sort of.
That's true. That's still quite a large piece of bacon there.
Holy mackerel!
So
Yes,
we're
it
going to
is.
cut this in half, and theoretically,
Well, Mr. Detail there, I know you're going to get it exactly in half without having to use a ruler.
I'm not so sure about that. I was actually looking for a different knife. Sorry. I think this might be the one I'm looking for. No, it's not.
Oh no, the one you're looking for is in it's got the paper sleeve on it. Oh, the lights just went out.
Okay. This one has a nice serrated edge on it.
There you go.
All right. Yeah, that cut much more nicely. Okay. So we have our two pieces of bacon, two slabs of bacon, if you will. I'm going to do something else with that in a minute.
So
One of these-
what are we gonna have that pork belly? Is that gonna be supper tomorrow night, or what? What you gonna? I mean the pieces that you cut off the end right there.
I'm not sure.
He's not sure.
But I'm going to put those in that gallon bag and get another one for this pork belly. One of the recipes calls for doing this. I'm gonna be able to get that out. I can find the right vessel. We're just going to do this in a glass casserole dish. Which one's bigger?
Your standard.
This one?
Your standard Baptist 9x13.
Yes.
What? Which one is bigger?
Which one's bigger? This one? We'll do this one.
Sure.
And just salt. This one's going to be salt and salt only. We may pepper it before we smoke it, but for the most part, I think it's just going to be salt and salt only. Into the pantry. Oh, you didn't follow me into the pantry. Did you have some?
I didn't follow you into the pantry. No.
Did you have some witty banter while I was in the pantry?
No, I'm just trying to stay awake because it's past my bedtime.
So I'm just gonna.
See, I see you were using Morton kosher salt there. So I read an article in Southern Living how they had people complain about some recipes being too salty, and some people thought they were delicious, and they actually did a test and found out that different salts have different salinity taste, I guess is the right word, between, and apparently their standard was the diamond crystal, kind of the red boxes you see sometimes. So
Are you saying that some salt is more salty than other salt?
that's what Southern Living claims.
Okay.
Yes.
I don't know.
Well, I will tell you this. In our waffle recipe,
Yes.
you can't use kosher salt in it. You have to use iodized salt, fine salt, and only half as much, because the kosher salt is way too salty for waffle. It makes you taste like you're eating a salty waffle, and that's not good eats.
In our waffle recipe, we didn't name it, but it's called
The Waffle of Insane Greatness.
the Waffle of Insane Greatness.
From Aretha Frankenstein's restaurant in Chattanooga, Tennessee. It's delicious. And you can buy their waffle mix at the Publix, actually. Like $5 or $6 a box.
Yeah.
Now, are you putting that on all sides or just on the top and bottom?
I'm mainly top and bottom, and I'm trying to work it in, but I am working it into the sides as well. You do want to get some contact with the salt at every part of this. Of course, what you're doing with the salt, if you don't know, is you're really just drawing moisture out of the bacon, out of the pork belly, because the moisture is where the bacteria will grow. So this has to stay in a refrigerator that is very cold, that's at least 37 degrees or colder. And so the first 2 or 3 days it will draw a lot of water out, and we will drain that water off, and we may resalt it at some point, but
And fortunately, we have an outside refrigerator in the garage, so this won't be taking up space in our regular kitchen fridge.
yeah, and we'll put it in the coldest part where we'll only open it to turn it over once a day. And so we'll show you a couple of shots of what it looks like along the way. But it doesn't have to be encased in salt. but you do want it liberally salted. And I've probably used maybe a quarter of a cup, maybe close to half a cup, and we will probably resalt it once or twice. So this probably, I would say this is 4.5 pounds. After I trimmed it up, it's 4.5 pounds. But this will draw moisture out, and of course the salt layer will protect the bacteria can't grow on this surface as salty as it is.
Okay, so hey, how much was this a pound when you bought that whole thing?
I believe that was $3.99 a pound or $4.99 a pound.
$4 a pound.
You go back and look.
They'll be digging
I'll
through
take
the
that
trash.
back, folks. It was $2.99 a pound.
Okay, so cheaper than
That's
bacon
cheaper
in the
than
grocery
your
store.
store-bought bacon, especially your no nitrite bacon.
Oh yeah,
So
that stuff's like $6.99, $5.99 for 12 ounces sometimes. So.
you know, economically speaking, this
Yeah.
should come out very, very well.
Because you're doing your own labor and you don't have to pay for marketing and so forth.
Exactly.
We're just hoping that it tastes good.
So I think that's pretty well salted.
Or I'm hoping that it tastes good because I love bacon, but I just try not to eat a lot of it.
We do love bacon. As far as uncured bacon, probably your favorite uncured bacon is Benton's bacon.
Oh, Benton's bacon. Yes, we've talked about Benton's bacon, Benton's products before whenever we did the deer tenderloin. Yes, theirs is really good, as is Dobbin's Market up on Sand Mountain, Alabama. I like it whenever you say, what is this cured with? And all they say is regular salt.
So here's a gallon-sized bag. This will be for the other piece. And really, we only need like a half cup of water and a quarter cup of salt. We'll just be making a brine, basically. So I'm gonna get my quarter cup measuring cup.
Out of our multiple assortment of measuring cups. Because, you know, it
does that
doesn't
make a
hurt.
lot of noise?
Well, it doesn't hurt to have multiple measuring cups. I think
So
that's
that's-
more than a
That's
half.
liberally a quarter cup.
Quarter, okay. Sorry, I thought you said a half a cup.
Half cup of water.
Oh,
So that will be next, a half cup of water. And that's a awfully big cup for a half cup of water, but might be a little more than a half a cup of water, but it'll work. It was a little more salt than that. And to this one, we will also add some brown sugar.
I'm not
This
following.
way.
I'm not walking.
You're
See,
not
there's our
You
ode
are
to
tired.
pigs. There's our ode to pigs right there. See our flying pig?
They probably can't hear me.
I was just talking to him about the flying
Brown sugar.
pig. Well, I couldn't see that.
They couldn't see that brown sugar. What?
Okay, finally, we got it. Firmly packed brown sugar.
So this is going to be loosely
That's loosely packed brown sugar.
a couple of teaspoons
Tablespoon.
or tablespoons. That's yeah. I get my teaspoons and my tablespoons mixed up, which is not a good thing. If you need a teaspoon of salt and you do a tablespoon of salt,
That's not good eats
that's not
either.
good.
No.
all right.
That's thumbs down. Hey, close that cabinet door over there. Everybody can see our Tupperware.
So about this one.
Yeah.
So we'll mix that up with our hand a little bit, slosh it around. Got a nice brown looking liquid in there. Okay. And we'll stuff our pork belly in here. Pretty sure it'll fit.
Well, if I'd gotten a bag, we know it would have fit with room to spare.
Well, you would have put it in a 3-gallon bag.
Exactly.
Let me move these knives.
You need a clean place to groove, and that's not one of them right there.
No, that had raw pork belly on it. We'll wash that later. Now we have a clean. I want to try to get as much air out of this as possible.
So you told us with this guy that you were gonna turn it over and add salt in a few days. What are you gonna do with this guy right here?
This one, still we're going to turn it over. Obviously there's always the potential for leakage out of this bag. So this one is nicely covered in this curing liquid that we've created with the sugar and the salt. We'll pepper this later. We're not going to put pepper in here now, but we'll pepper it before we smoke it. Try to get just a little more out of there.
You know it's gonna poof up on you. You're not getting all the air out.
Oh, I know, you're not getting all the air out, but I want to get out as much as you can. We're going to turn this over once a day, and, you know, really, we could do this either in another dish or on a sheet tray.
Another dish, because a sheet tray will barely fit in that other refrigerator, if I'm not mistaken.
All right, let's see if we can do it in this one. This one big enough? Not quite.
Not really. You need the 9x13 instead of the 8x11.
Boy, this is a noisy video. All right, nicely. Fits nicely. Okay, so once a day we will turn this over, slosh it around, and in about 5 to 7 days, you could do it as short as 3. I've seen it done as short as 3 days, but we will be ready to smoke some bacon. And we may even test a piece before we smoke it to see how salty it is. If we want to, you know, if it's too salty, you can always soak it in water for a little while, let the salt leach out. One thing that the coarse kosher salt does is draws the moisture out that you want without a lot of the salt sinking in. The finer the salt, the saltier your bacon is going to be. It will absorb into the meat, and that's not really the purpose. You do want some salt taste in the meat, but you really are trying to protect it from bacteria and draw the moisture out, which cures the meat. So,
Hey, are you gonna just leave this in the fridge like this, or are you gonna put some plastic wrap over it?
this will be uncovered. This one is in the
Not
plastic
even
bag.
plastic wrap.
This
Okay.
one is uncovered.
Okay.
That's it.
Alrighty.
That's it for now.
Adios.
Is that, or did you decide on the camera angle? Is that what
Yes, this is what we're going with.
we're going with this?
Yes, we
Okay,
are.
I think we're back. Are we back?
We're back.
This
Live,
bit-
live, all the way
It's
live.
been at least like 5.5 days. So we got both of our bacon halves here. One from the Ziploc bag, and the other one that's just been salted only in open air. The Ziploc bag has brown sugar and a little bit of water. We're gonna rinse both of these. We're going to soak one of them, the one that had more salt on it. I think we're gonna let it soak for about an hour or so and try to get some of the salt to come out. So that's what we're gonna try, and we'll see how these two come out. But you can see they've definitely changed a lot. This is much firmer than it was. A lot of the water obviously has come out, which is what you want. You're trying to draw moisture out of it. It's certainly in good shape. Don't see any problem with making bacon out of this. We are going to smoke
Making
it.
bacon.
Making bacon. Bring it home to bacon. All right, so let's take this one over and rinse it.
Woo, too much light there.
Yeah, well, it's a nice, bright, sunny day. A little overcast, but still a nice, bright day. So we're going to just wash all the salt off the outside of it. Because according to the instructions, you want to put this back into the refrigerator for a day, uncovered on a rack. And we're going to go ahead and do that with the other one, but this one we're going to let soak for about an hour or so
And our immaculately clean sink that
and
we've got cold water in.
Yep.
And why? And tell them why you're soaking it in the sink, or did you already tell them and I wasn't paying attention?
You weren't paying attention.
Okay.
But what else is new?
What else is new? Hey, by the way,
You're focused on the camera.
I'm trying a Pinterest experiment here that seems to be working. That if you cut celery off and put it in water, that it'll regrow itself. How about that?
Is that as fast as it would grow in the garden, or can you just plant that and it would grow just the same as just sticking it in water?
I don't know. I've never tried to grow celery.
Is this called hydroponic celery growing?
I guess it is since it's in water now. But anyway.
All right, so we're just trying to keep that piece from being a little too salty. We're not really sure how either one of them are going to come out. This one, apparently the bag has leaked a little bit. That's one reason why you put it in a glass vessel like this or something, because it did leak a little bit, but there's still lots of cure in there. So this bag will go in the trash, but we're going to take the bacon out and rinse it off good.
Now that one seems, I don't know.
This one's a little more pliable because it's, it's been in liquid the entire time. So it's not as stiff as the other one, that's for sure. The color is about the same, I'll say that.
I'm interested to see which one we like better.
This one did have sugar in it, and the other one did not. So, yeah, that's really the primary difference.
We got to get better on our lighting on doing these videos. Our lighting is less
Stinks.
than, yeah.
And I believe we want to dry this outside because that's the whole purpose of putting it back into the...
Oh, you're not going to put that in the water to soak?
No. This one we're not going to soak.
Oh.
This one we're just going to put straight on the rack to dry.
Do you need me to get some paper towel for you?
Yeah, that'd be
See,
good.
paper towels
Either
are
that
way
or
over
I'm going
there.
to drip water everywhere trying to get the paper towels.
Not good.
No.
Okay.
So, well, you can just take it with you and leave it there.
I'm going to
the
leave it
paper
there so
towels are
people
over
can
there.
see my towel right there.
Are you sure? Maybe the only thing they can see is this bacon.
No,
I don't
they
know.
can see the paper towel. That's right here.
All right. Let's try the paper towels. This was a good time to do this because we're on vacation this week, so we'll smoke it tomorrow and have plenty of time to do that. Try that out pretty good. We'll let that dry as much as possible. At least it's not dripping now, so. But you put this on an open air rack in the refrigerator. You want good air circulation.
Both of them?
Yes. Yeah, both of them are going to go in. We're just going to do this one now, and after that one soaks for an hour, we'll put it in there. But the purpose for this is for it to form what they call a pellicle.
Like the bird?
Not a pelican, a pellicle.
That doesn't sound like a very good word.
A pellicle is a
You have
fancy,
to be cautious when you're saying that word.
a fancy word
For crust?
for a dry outer skin that will actually, believe it or not, it helps it absorb the smoke when you smoke it. So the pellicle helps you do the same thing, oddly enough. First time I ever heard that term was watching Alton Brown on Good Eats talk about salmon, smoked salmon. And you leave salmon out in the refrigerator uncovered for several hours or a day, whatever it is, and it forms a film, what they call a pellicle, and that helps it adhere, the smoke adhere when you smoke it. So that's the instructions. That's what we're gonna do.
Because Alton Brown is never wrong.
No, I mean he's got a whole series now where he's correcting all the things that he did wrong in the old Good Eats and changing recipes, etc. So yeah, certainly is wrong. So this is on the rack, nice rack up above the sheet tray, and this will go back in the refrigerator for a day. And tomorrow we smoke, and that's what we're going to do with the other piece. We won't come back for that, but we'll have both pieces that have a pellicle on them, and we will make sure we know which one is which. we'll mark them, and we'll smoke them. Thanks.
See you then.
Okay, folks, I'm going to try this. We are outside, and we've got the smoker set up. I'm going to show you, we're 7 days into the process, and as you saw, we got them ready to go in to form the pellicle. We've pulled them out of the refrigerator. We've added some pepper to them, and I've got them in the smoker. Let me flip the, you can see, but here's the smoker, and you can see some smoke coming out. Here's my master built electric smoker, and we've got the temperature set. You can't really read that right now, but that's at 225. And I'm going to show you, there's one of the pieces. This is the one that we just salted only, and we cured uncovered in the refrigerator. It's got black pepper and a little cayenne pepper on it. Then this one on the top rack has, this is the one that was in the brown sugar brine for the curing process. And so we've salted it. You can see I've got a temperature probe in each one, trying to get the temperature to about 140 to 150 degrees. I've got hickory smoke going in the chamber down there. I've got my, it's out here in the sun, so I kind of covered it with a towel. Let me see if I can get that closed. I'm just trying to close my smoker back up. So there's my smoker's closed. And here I've got my temperature gauges, and you can see each one is still, it was very cold. Certainly you wanted them at about 34 degrees in the refrigerator to keep it there or lower. I think maybe 30, 38 or 36 is the maximum temperature you want them to be. So they're in the smoker, and it should take probably a couple of hours, maybe a little bit longer, but it's not going to be real heavy smoke. You don't see a ton of smoke coming out of the smoke hole over here, but the electric smoker I think is the way to go for this, and you're looking for a target of about 150, and that's where we are in the process. See you later. Can you let go? So if we do sideways, this here we are.
I know.
We're about to go get the bacon from the smoker. It's exciting.
Gosh, I didn't know you were rolling already.
We're rolling already.
And I was fixing my hairdo.
There's the kitchen. Here. There's the tray. Let's
Fun,
go get some
exciting
bacon.
stuff. Let's go get some bacon. It's gonna get bright, so it's not going to be very good camera work right here, folks. Out to the master built smoker.
Here's our temperature.
I can't get that.
You can't get that?
I can't read it on the camera, but maybe somebody else can. Oh, yeah, I
Think you
think
can.
I got it. I got it there, 149 or so.
Yeah, 149, 150. That's what we were looking for. That was the magic temperature.
And now the big reveal. Ooh. Wow, that looks yummy. I can't wait to cook that.
You know, I should have brought something to get these out with.
You need some gloves?
Yeah.
How about I go get them if you hold
Okay,
these?
sounds good.
I just washed them.
All right. There's a good look at the bottom one and the top one. I did swap them over halfway through. So halfway through the process, we switched them from top to bottom. But just some hickory smoke, just a few hickory chips, and we're ready to get these out, cool them down, and then slice them. So just want to get a good shot of them coming out of the smoker. Ah, here are the gloves. Thank you.
The magic gloves.
Thank you, my lovely assistant.
And I just washed those. If I knew that you were going to be using them again, I wouldn't have wasted that effort.
Well, I didn't ask you to wash them.
They were by the sink in the area designated for, hey, this is ready to be
The
washed.
things that need to be washed. All right, here is bacon number 1.
Ooh. Now, which one is that?
That is the one without cayenne.
So that's the one that had brown sugar in it.
That was the brown sugar. This is the cayenne option. That was air dried the whole way. This was the wet. This was the wet cure. This was the dry cure, salt only. This was salt and sugar.
And interestingly, I can tell, I don't know that, I think you can see it on the camera. The one that was wet cured even actually looks damper. Looks wetter on the outside than this one that was dry cured. It's got a little sheen on it.
It does have a little sheen.
Not Martin.
I can't grab that. We'll take those probes out later.
Okay.
Okay, now to cool them down, and then we'll get to slicing. That'll be next.
I didn't realize you were going to be leaning over. I just got quite a shot of your,
Oh, that's
your bald
unfortunate
head.
for everybody.
Well, I'm sorry. All right, I might as well hit go. So I did, Mister. Looks
Okay,
like we got some bacon here and
Here's
a hot
our-
skillet.
2 pieces of bacon that have been in the refrigerator. Since we pulled them out of the smoker and they firmed up, should be easier to slice. So I'm gonna slice a couple of pieces of bacon and we're gonna just fry up a test piece or 2. So I'm gonna try to slice this really, really thin. And whether or not I'm successful or not is a completely different question.
Well, I guess you just need lots of practice, right?
I need lots of practice. I don't have a
Slicing machine.
an automated slicer to do this, so maybe thin on one edge and thick on another. Who knows? But I think that's pretty thin.
Would it be easier to just put it on the cutting board there, or no?
It would be easier to put it on a cutting board, yes.
I don't want us to ruin the knife on the metal there.
Well,
Uh-oh.
whoops.
I don't believe you had that up there.
I don't believe it was all the way up there either. This is live TV, folks.
This is observant.
Okay, it's definitely thin on that edge, but not so much on that edge.
Well, let's see. I couldn't see it well through the camera. Okay. Yeah, that's pretty thin. That's thinner than like Benton's bacon. Okay, now we're gonna make a horrible mess on the stove, frying bacon.
Well,
That's just part of it.
just think of it as a sacrifice for
Future generations.
the challenge of making your own bacon. Now this is the one that had the cayenne pepper. This was the one that was dry, cured with just salt. I'm not sure I got a very good slice there.
No, that's pretty thin. That looks like the kind of bacon when you're in an emergency and you go to the convenience store and buy the bacon that they have that's mostly fat, yeah, and really super thin. That was the thickness of that one.
I'm gonna have to do a better job of slicing, but this is good enough for the test piece. So it's frying up now. Well, this wasn't perfectly clean anyway.
No, it wasn't. I'll give you that, Jim.
That's the wet aged one. This is the dry aged one. So we're just frying it in a little bacon. I did have a little bit of starter grease because if you fried bacon enough, you know that the second batch or after the bacon renders some fat out, it always fries better. So I started with just a little bit of bacon fat that we had left over.
I wouldn't know that because I cook mine in the microwave because it's quicker.
But in the skillet is really the way to fry bacon. I think everybody would agree with that.
When you fry it in the microwave, it's nice and thin. I don't mean thin. It stays nice and flat for your BLT.
Well, that's the thing about this bacon. This bacon is going to stay more flat. It's not going to curl up as much.
It's smoking though.
And it's smoking just a little bit.
We might set the smoke alarm
We
off.
won't set the smoke alarm off, I hope. That would be really interesting for the viewers. I'm going to need a little more
You need some paper towels.
paper towel to drain this off on. This is the brown sugar cured one. You are going to notice it's not going to be as red. Even the edges where we've cut, you can see it's not very pink. That's because we didn't use the
pink
the
salt.
nitrite
Yeah.
salt. That keeps it pink. So it's a little more like a very light pink, or maybe even sort of a grayish color in the meat. But that
It
is our
looks like
2
bacon.
tops. It definitely looks like bacon. The key is,
Does it taste like bacon?
how does it taste compared to
Yeah, that's hot there,
Bacon.
isn't it, when you touch that?
hot grease is hot.
Don't burn yourself.
Yeah, it needs a moment to cool. And so I hope you've enjoyed this video. Well, I'm gonna taste it at least. I don't know if Michelle's gonna taste it or not.
I'm stuffed from supper. I think I'm gonna pass tonight, but you can give us a.
Okay, this is the brown sugar.
It sounds very crispy.
It's nice and crispy. Cutting it thin definitely makes a difference. It's gonna have a kind of a different texture if you thick cut it. Probably even a different texture than store-bought bacon, but this is really good. It may be a little saltier, or if you get, if your bacon that you like from the store is really salty, it's probably going to be very similar. But it does have no nitrites. It's naturally cured the way it used to be done, with just salt or salt and sugar. And it's very tasty. Now, this is the one that's salt only. And it even has a different color completely. Both of them took a little over 2 hours to smoke. And this is the one we also soaked in water to get some of the salt out. And I do think it is a little bit less salty. Maybe even a longer soak. I mean, it is still pretty salty. And I did re-salt it one time during the 7-day cure. So I think the next time we try this, we'll probably, I don't know if you could soak slices and take some more salt out. That might be an option to try. But this definitely makes nice, crispy, tasty bacon. So buy that pork belly. Don't be scared of it. And take a chance on making some bacon. And remember, Jesus loves you.
And we're certainly trying.